Here at the Cryptic Files, we don't aim to prove or disprove anything. Simply show the evidence for you to decide. So with that said, let's get started. File 1. The following mysterious footage was recorded by Alex Paranormal while investigating in Highgate Cemetery in London in the UK. Already a famous London landmark, Highgate Cemetery hit the international headlines with their amazing claim that the graves are now the home of a vampire. The story really begins in late 1969 when a local resident said he spotted a tall, dark, rather mysterious figure lurking in the edge of the graveyards just inside the gates. However, this story began to change and became instead the story of a vampire, which has been documented on numerous occasions in various books and TV shows and movies, so I won't go into the full details here, but it's worth looking into. But as a result of this notoriety, the cemetery has become a bit of a target for paranormal investigators. However, it should be noted that the trustees of Highgate Cemetery have an absolute blanket ban on all so-called paranormal investigations taking place in the cemetery. So the fact that the group were actually in there carrying an investigation is taking a hell of a risk, to be sure, but that's up to them. However, what they appear to capture on camera is pretty bizarre. This is their footage.
Right, I'm back again. Can you rattle the cage? Do you want to say gate?
Gate. Did you hear with us? Yeah.
Nah, what? Good, touch the gate behind me.
Hello, David.
Good, touch the gate behind me.
You don't do a minute.
Let's see if he does it. Touch the gate. Show yourself behind me.
Did you see it? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't because it was moving incredibly quickly. But here, have another look at the footage, slowed down, and see if you can see what's happening. Still missed it? Well, it is very brief, so let's have another look. Something very briefly appears in frame to the left of the screen. But what is it? Whatever it is moving so fast that it only appears in 6 frames of the video footage. Here are the individual frames. However, this is the most interesting frame, as whatever it is appears to pause just for a moment and we get some idea of what it is we're looking at. Looking closely, it appears that whatever this is, it's small and in front of the bars rather than large and actually in the mausoleum. So it's definitely not human sized, but whatever it is certainly very strange. So what have Alex Paranormal captured on camera? Is it actually a ghost? Or is it something else? Perhaps a fast-moving insect? Well, it would have to be a warp-speed insect to have moved so quickly, but who knows? But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You can find Alex Paranormal's full investigation, which is listed in the description below. File 2. This mysterious footage was captured by Justin Johnson in Missouri whilst driving home from work. Justin was so surprised by what he was seeing, he pulled over in order to video it. This is what he captured.
Check this out. That's a cube.
Interestingly, the local news station was able to confirm that according to the FAA, there were no objects in the sky at the time. So what has Justin captured on his phone? It doesn't look like it's a drone. It seems to be moving in a very different way to how you imagine a drone would move. Perhaps it was a silver party balloon that had escaped and floated into the atmosphere. That would seem unlikely because of the way in which it seemed to be almost flashing or rotating, something a balloon probably wouldn't do.
I'm on Glenstone in Springfield, Missouri. That is a cube spinning on an axis, flickering. It's got lights around it in the middle of the day. In the middle of the day.
Here it is again, zoomed in and slowed down. I've tried to stabilize it as much as possible. But what is it? Is it an aircraft, unidentified? Is it a balloon? Is it a drone? Or is it something perhaps more otherworldly? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. File 3. Out in the Wilds. MCM Outdoors is a YouTube channel run by Chris, who is a very experienced hiker and camper, well used to exploring the wilder and open areas of the UK moorlands. During one such adventure, Chris explores an undisclosed location in the Lancashire moors.
Quick scenery check. We'll look into Winter Hill with the mast.
After a day's hiking, Chris finds an appropriate spot to pitch his tent. And having settled in for the night, Chris decides to tell of a strange encounter he once experienced out on the moors.
In this edition of Tales from the Tent, I'm going to tell you my scariest experience I've ever had when I've been wild camping.
Chris describes how, needing to answer the call of nature, he has a very odd experience with something outside the tent.
And I just had this sixth sense. I thought, someone's here, there's someone here. And it was this horrible feeling on the hairs on the back of my neck, genuinely started standing up. So it was about 2:30 in the morning. I'm looking out with my head torch into the mist, and I can't see, just about see, my hand in front of my face. And all of a sudden, as I'm looking towards the trig point of Shining Tor, just to the left of it was this dark silhouette. I have never got back into my tent so quickly. Zipped it up as quick as I could, straight into the inner. I put the sleeping bag over my head, and I was absolutely terrified. That's never ever happened to me anywhere else. That's absolutely gospel true. Whatever that was on Shining Tor that night, it wasn't good. And that's the only time ever that I've been wild camping and felt afraid.
As Chris concludes telling his story, he begins to notice some strange sounds outside the tent.
Do you know what that noise is? It's like this weird noise. It's getting closer. Oi! What the f is that? It's like all around. That?
Unfortunately, Chris stops recording at that point, and we can only assume that whatever that sound was, it had stopped. But what was it that Chris was recording? Surely someone as experienced as him would recognise any strange noise from outside if it was an animal of any form. And yet he clearly doesn't recognise what this sound is. So we're left with a question. What is it? What is he hearing? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You can follow all of Chris's adventures on his YouTube channel, which is listed in the links below, where you can also hear Chris's full story of his bizarre encounter with the strange figure on Shining Tour in the Peak District. If you've made it this far and liked what you've seen, please click like and subscribe. Also hit the little bell icon, because for some strange reason if you don't hit that, you don't get the videos, even if you're subscribed. That's a strange one. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.